Hey, I'm back again. I wonder, will I keep saying I'm back again forevermore? I haven't even gone anywhere. I'm not back. I'm not back. I'm just here. I'm just here. So, as part of my trying to get my act together, I decided, by pure chance, I saw this book and I thought, oh my God, I started reading that before and I didn't get anywhere, but not through my own fault. And I said, I'll try it again. So, 13 years ago, I started reading a book called Get Your Shit Together. I'd bought it in the post office while I was lining up to get something else. And I remember thinking, oh my God, that's what I need to do. I really need to get my shit together. And I have no idea how to do it. And that was 13 years ago. So I was reading away. I got a little bit into the book. And somehow one of my children, I suspect I know which one, threw it out the window. It was a dormer house that we were living in at the time, and he threw it out the window along with my pajamas. My pajamas and my book both disappeared at the same time. I had no idea where they were. I thought they were around the house. I looked under the bed, no sign. Gave up on that. I just wore different pajamas and I read something else for a bit, But about 2 weeks later, the pajamas and the book fell down off the roof. They had been in the gutter and were all mank and wet and gunky, and both had to be thrown out. They just landed down on the ground when there was a bit of rain or a bit of a storm or something. And I was like, oh my God, is that where my book has been? Oh my God, is that where my pajamas has been? And that's kind of how our life is. We have a child who likes throwing things out windows. So what can you do about that? Anyway, the book is called Get Your Shit Together by Ruth Field, who is also the author of Run Fat Bitch Run. And the reason I came back to this book really is not because it was magical when I was reading it. The reason I'm coming back to it is because she wrote another book called Calm Down and Get Your Shit Together. And I was having a really, really rough time, very, very stressed, didn't know what to do about my eldest child, who had at the time dropped out of school. And I really had no idea what to do. It wasn't even about getting him back into school, it was getting him okay, So I thought to myself, what the heck? My friend gives me a book called Calm Down and Get Shit Done. I was like, I can't calm down. Look what's happened. And I can't get shit done because I don't even know what to do. That's the problem. Ugh. So anyway, I read the book, and the book was actually very, very helpful. In general, in life, I do one of the two things. I try to get shit done. If I'm worrying about something, I try and get shit done about it. Or else I try to calm myself down. I do one or the other. I decide based on the facts in front of me, which of those two things makes more sense to do right now. Do I stick my head in the sand, pretend this isn't happening and calm myself down? No, I don't. I need to take action. Or do I take action and action and action on something that you can't really do anything about? No, I don't. I calm myself down about that. So, I work with that. And the book gives you a fair idea of how to apply it to like a million different situations. And it talks you through other stuff too. But in my head, it's summarized down into those two things. So Get Your Shit Together by Ruth Field is, she's the grit doctor, so she's a bit mean. But that's intentional. No, she's a bit mean intentionally, and the bad language is intentional as well because she's being a bit mean. It's a good book. It's helpful. If you were very, very lazy, you could turn to page, I think it's 122 at the very back here, and it says, no, it's not 122. It's not 122. It's 121. Look at that. On 121, it says, if you only take one thing away from this book, let it be in action. And I think that really sums it up. If you're doing something, you will get your shit done. And if you're not doing something, you will not get your shit done. So it breaks it up into sections, into take action. Like, what does that mean, really, take action? What are you taking action on? Who's going to help you? Who's going to help you, and maybe sort out your house so that you can get stuff done, sort out your environment so you can get stuff done, and don't waste your time, get stuff done. That's what it's saying, get stuff done. The second part to it is integrity. So you can't waste too much time thinking and working out what's going on and what kind of a brain you have and all that kind of stuff. Like, I do think you waste a certain amount of time thinking about that. It's not really a waste. You do need to figure out a little bit. I don't fully agree with her on that. I think you do need to spend some time on that, but maybe not years and years and years, Figure out some things that work for your brain and go with those. Figure out some people who have a similar brain, listen to them, see what works for them, and try that. Stop talking shit. She actually says that. So I think she means, stop making plans and not following through on them. Stop saying you're going to do something and not doing it. Just do the stuff. It's the same. It's just do it. And circumstantial evidence. There are no excuses. for not doing the stuff. So that's the integrity part of it. So there's take action with integrity. Take action with integrity. And the last part is spirit. So the spirit part is about being kind to people. Because, well, it's nice, isn't it? Be nice. Don't waste your time squabbling with people, because they're not going to be on board to helping you if you're squabbling and squabbling. Green grass thinking. The idea that like everyone else has it a little bit easier. Nobody else is dealing with this. Everyone else's house is so lovely and tidy because they don't have 5 children messing it up, and they don't have to go to work or whatever. They do. They all have other stuff going on. They all have elderly parents or a disability themselves, or a husband who's an alcoholic. Like everyone has something. Everyone has something going on. People who don't look like they have something, they still have something. They still have something going on. So everybody still does. And the last little bit on it then is you can't have it all, So when you're looking at your life, you have to look at it and think, parts of my life are great. And I can't have it all. Like if I spend more time, doing a better job teaching, I want to be a better teacher. I want to get my shit together in my classroom. That means spending an hour every day after school, doing stuff, in school. And then my kids are missing out on a parent at home until, say if I leave school at 4:00 instead of 3:00, I'm not home until 4:30. I'm not really present for them until 5. And homework is kind of done by then. Like when am I going to be present for my children? If I'm putting so much effort into doing better at work, you have to kind of measure it up and see, am I doing okay here? Am I doing okay there? Where am I not getting my shit together? So what I've worked out on this is that really where I don't have my at work, I do have my shit together. Around the kids, I'm okay as well. What I'm finding is not working for me in my life is the clutter in our house, the stuff, the mayhem, the chaos in our house. That is the part that I'm really struggling with. That's where I don't have my shit together. And the other part where I don't have my shit together is time management and kind of appointments and scheduling. Not doing well on that. I've appointments I need to make that I haven't made. Things like getting to the hairdresser. Yeah, but I mean an appointment to have my kids' prescriptions for ADHD meds renewed. I haven't made those. Like I'm not talking about small little, like, I need to get something lasered. No, like, and things like getting a mammogram done and things like that. Like now I'm currently on top of that, but it's an annual thing for me. My mother died of breast cancer. So I'll need to do it again. And I don't remember when I did it. So like scheduling important stuff like that, I'm not doing very well on that. So those are the 2 areas that I think I do need to get my shit together. Now, like, so if that's not exactly relevant to where you are, I suppose where I would start is I would get that wheel. What's that wheel called? It's the wheel of life. The wheel of life. There's different versions of it. But I had a coach. I worked with a life coach for a little bit, and she gave me a copy of it, of the wheel of life, and it just had different parts of life. Like there was 8 or 12 on it. They're not all relevant to your life. They're not all relevant to anybody's life. There's things that are not there that you think are a big chunk of your life that you can scribble something out and put something else in instead of it. So there were sections like career, family life, health and fitness, spirituality, ongoing education, learning, things like that. And there's loads of different versions of it. So really, I would say to look until you find a version that actually resonates with what you're doing. Like the one I was working from had family relationships, and it didn't have parenting. And I parenting is a huge chunk of my life. My kids take an awful lot of time and effort, and they give an awful lot of joy. So like how my parenting is going is a big part for me. So it's not quite the same as family. I would count family as keeping in touch with my family, keeping in touch with family and friends, like they're the same. Keeping in touch with my family, keeping in touch with my friends. I stick that into the same category. And then parenting is really all I would count as kind of big in family. So I would have structured the one I was working with slightly differently. So you can kind of structure it your own way, but if you look up the wheel of life, you'll find lots of examples of different ones like that kind of give you an idea of which part of my life is working, which part isn't working. And I remember my life coach, when I looked through it, and spirituality was on my one, and I marked it really low. And she said, are you a spiritual person? Is it okay that that's low, or is it something that you are not happy with? And like I put spirituality down at 2 or 3, it's out of 10, like it's low. It's just not something I focus on or do very much about. But that's okay. Because I'm okay with that. I'm not worried about my spirituality not being the focus of my life, my kids are the focus of my life. My job is my focus of my life. My husband, my house, things that are going to affect my children really are the focus of my life. Maybe that's terribly sad. Maybe I need to do a little bit more self-care and health. My own health should probably be bumped up a little bit there, shouldn't it? A little bit more me. I should be a little bit more focused on myself. Yeah, in the sense of looking after myself, brushing my teeth, things like that. I do brush my teeth. I'm very good to brush my teeth. Yeah. So yeah, like evaluating what you want to focus on, what you actually want to get together, because getting your shit together means different things for different people. Like for some people, it would mean like figuring out your career because you jump from one thing to the next, or you're just not that happy with what you're doing. For me, that's not the case at all. Or it could be sorting out a relationship you're not happy with, or sorting out family relationships that are a bit of a mess. And all those things are okay with me. So I think reading this book helped me to kind of see what's good and what's working, what shit I don't need to get together because I already have it together. And to kind of see that the house being a mess and getting to schedule plans and things like that, to do that is really a priority for me for the next little while. So that's what I'm going to try and work on and try and focus on. And the main message from the book is to be in action, isn't it? Like, just keep doing stuff and stuff will be done. That is the only way to get your shit together. You have to do stuff. There isn't another way. Like, there really isn't another way. Be in action. Get stuff done. Stop worrying about stuff. Stop talking about stuff so much. Stop making plans. Just get things done. Set a goal and get it done. And I think if I hadn't been on ADHD medications, I would have said, yeah, get stuff done, and then not done anything. Because I really was getting very, very blocked, very overwhelmed by starting something, not knowing what I should do now. What should I do? Whereas with medication, that isn't an issue. That isn't an issue. I'm ready to start something. I'm excited about starting something. I'm ready. I'm like, what will we do? What am I going to do? I'd be talking to my friend on my phone and I'd start making the bed. Ordinarily, I wouldn't make the bed because I'd be saying, oh, if I'm going to make the bed, I really should wash the sink first. Like, just make the bed. I think the medication helps me get over that be in action thing. Start doing something. Keep doing something. And yeah, I still need to work on reaching out for help with things, and I still need to work on loads of parts of this, but I feel like I'm getting places. I feel like I'm getting places with it. Yeah, it's not a bad book. Not a bad book. Not a bad book. Not particularly neurodiverse focused. That would be the only thing I would say about it. It's not designed to be. It doesn't say it is. It doesn't pretend to be, at all. But it's still relevant. Like, if you can do something, then do something. And something will be done. And then the next thing can be done, and the next thing can be done, and eventually lots of things will be done. And that's very, very logical. Very, very logical. But I really think without meds, that's not something that would make any sense to me. Maybe it would. I say, I don't know. See, I never finished this book. My kid threw it out the window. Literally threw my book out the window. So how was I supposed to get my shit together when my book was thrown out the window? Whereas maybe now I can actually get my shit together. Maybe I'm in the right time to read it. I saw it for €3. When you see something for €3 that you are meant to have that thing, especially when it should be like 15 or something. The first time I bought it was probably a tenner. But I saw it for €3. I was looking for something for one of the kids. And I saw this book listed somewhere down along the side, and it was €3. Like, I meant to have this book. €3. Definitely meant to have it. Definitely meant to be in my life. Your prescription for a simpler life. Now, I don't know if it does what it says on the tin. A simpler life. Not really. A lot of what's in it is kind of saying to yourself, well, the grass isn't greener on the other side. Other people don't have a very simple life either. This is as simple as it gets. This is good. This is all okay. Yeah. Anyway, I think I need to go to sleep and go to bed. I'm starting to ramble. Yeah. Get your shit together. Not a bad read, and relevant to getting my act together. If you're interested in listening to me trying to get my act together a bit more, you might hit follow, because then you'll be notified if I add in anything new. So that's it, really. Hit follow, and I will talk to you soon again. Bye for now. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, 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 bye. Okay, bye. Goodbye. I'm definitely rambling. Definitely rambling. This is kind of late at night. Meds have obviously worn off. Good night.